The devil always wins. Probably thinking, what is Alex going to talk about now? Is he getting all religious on us? What's happening here? No, it's not about that. It's about the people that we have on both of our shoulders, right? We have the angel and the devil. Whatever you want to talk about them as, if you want to call them, the good guy, the bad guy. Ultimately, I heard something a few weeks ago, and it's probably the second most impactful statement that I've heard. For those that know, my first is water over rocks. My great friend Mark Jolly had talked to me about water over rocks years ago, and it's about the fact that water never stops moving, right? It might bubble up and get a little bit agitated, but it continues moving. The water doesn't just stay there in the same place doing the same thing over and over again, right? It continues moving. So I love water over rocks. That's my number one, and I'll keep that with me for the rest of my life. I tell people that all the time when they're going through, especially a hard time, that how that impacted me. Now the second one was Jimmy Rex said, if we negotiate with ourselves, the carnal man wins. I saw a couple looks on faces like, what's the carnal man? And it's the devil, right? It's the bad man. And what he meant by it was so impactful to me because I immediately went into visualization, and my visualization again was the person on this shoulder, the person on this shoulder. Maybe it's the person on this shoulder saying, wake up, you've got to work out. Person on this shoulder saying, you didn't get a good night's sleep, sleep in, it'll be okay, you could work out tomorrow. And if we're willing to negotiate with ourselves, guess what? Oftentimes we sleep in and we don't do what we said we were going to do. Could be the same type of thing. You're starting a diet on Monday, right? Today's Thursday. And you go out to dinner tonight and your significant other says, should we get dessert? And you're like, well, I don't know. I mean, I'm starting a diet on Monday. I probably shouldn't. And then you look at the menu and, they've got your favorite. They've got bananas Foster on the dessert menu. You're like, you know what? I'm starting that diet on Monday. Let me enjoy it now, right? Because you've justified it. So guess what? The devil won, right? The carnal man won. Now, we do that with ourselves all the time, even though we don't realize it because we don't make certain things non-negotiable. So we think that we're not negotiating with the devil. We think we're negotiating with the other good guy, right? This good guy saying, wake up, get to the office on time, and make your calls. The other good guy saying, well, there's this webinar that you really should be watching, and you bookmarked that YouTube video about what to say and how to get higher conversions, and I really should watch that before I make those phone calls, because if I watch that and it's got a gold nugget for me and then I make the phone calls, I may have a higher conversion rate. Guess what? That's negotiating with yourself. Even though it's on the better side, it's not, hey, I'm not going to wake up this morning and go to work because I had a few drinks the night before. It is actually productive, but it may not be moving the needle. So guess what? Do the work that you committed to doing, that you said you were going to do, but you're lacking the discipline to do that work. Then go watch that video, and the next day, maybe your conversions will be higher. However, if you break the chain of doing what you said you were going to do, it opens up a very slippery slope for you to do that more and more and more. And I mean, let's face it, pause this video for a second and look at yourself and say, how have I been when it comes to making my calls, going to the gym if you're a workout person, go down the list, having that date night with my significant other that I promised we would start having 6 months ago. Spending that time with my kids that I promised I would be present for. What are those things? Maybe you like golf and you're like, I want to golf every Saturday, at least 9 holes. Are you doing those things that you said you were going to do? If not, they are not non-negotiables. They're very much negotiable, and the devil is winning. So lock it down, put it in your head. It is non-negotiable. And the only way you're breaking that non-negotiable is if something comes up that you cannot avoid. You're on your way to work, you're going to make those calls, and you get a flat tire. And now you're out on the side of the road for the next 2 hours, and that really beefed up your day. Yeah, cool, I get it. But that's the exception, not the rule. You're hearing this as a theme in a lot of my videos right now. I really want to get this point across because this is where I see the highest rate of failure in not just the real estate industry, but in so many aspects of so many people's lives when they don't commit to the discipline.